On the night of September 28, 2015, a man found his wife brutally beaten to death inside their home while their two young children were inside.
Help me, my wife's dead. Is she breathing at all? Nothing? Go!
The police found no signs of forced entry or robbery, leading them to believe that the violent attack might have been done by someone she knew. Just a few hours into the investigation, a crucial piece of evidence that pointed to the murderer was revealed by an unexpected source: the woman's 7-year-old daughter.
What did the robber look like?
He looked like her dad.
This haunting detail led the police to focus their attention on the husband, the little girl's father. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to delve into a heartbreaking and chilling case that shook a community to its core: the murder of Kelley Clayton. It was the night of September 28, 2015. Kelley Clayton was at their family home on Ginnon Road in the Steuben County town of Clayton. With her was her 7-year-old daughter Charlie and 3-year-old son Cullen. Thomas, her husband, was out for his weekly poker night with some friends. It seemed like a regular Monday night for the Claytons. But things suddenly took a darker turn when Thomas got home around 12:30 a.m. because he found blood and chaos, and Kelley dead in the kitchen. Thomas quickly shuttled his 2 kids to the neighbor's house before making a frantic call to 911.
911. Help me, my wife. She's dead. Hurry. Okay, just stay on the line with me. How long has she been down? I don't know. I just got home. Is she breathing at all? Nothing? Go. Trust me. Okay, is she beyond CPR? Yes. Trust me. Let him deal with my kids. You'll see when I get here.
When the police arrived, they discovered a distraught Thomas and a horrific scene.
Anybody else in the house, Tom? Just you?
I got the kids at the neighbor's house.
Okay, where's she at?
Kelley had been brutally bludgeoned to death, and it was clear that she had struggled with her attacker for a while. There was a bloody trail that started in the bedroom upstairs, down the stairs, ending in the kitchen where she died.
There's blood all over. She's been dragged. Blood on the wall. Blood with a hole in the wall. Looks like a face plant into the wall.
There's no question that this was a brutal crime. The police noticed that there were no signs of forced entry. There was a lot of cash in the house as well as Kelley's jewellery. Nothing had been taken, ruling out robbery. So it was inevitable that they suspected this was murder. But who would murder Kelley? Kelley was a bright, vivacious woman, born and raised in Elmira. When she was in her 20s, she left her teaching job to work as a cocktail waitress in Las Vegas to pursue her dreams of becoming a model. It was during a trip home to visit family for the holidays that she met Thomas. At the time, Thomas was still playing hockey for the Elmira Jackals. Within a year of meeting, the two got married and settled down in Canton, New York, where Thomas started his business, a water and fire damage restoration franchise. Kelley, on the other hand, settled into being a wife and mother while waitressing on the side. According to family and friends, Thomas and Kelley were the perfect couple and lived the idyllic life. Thomas ran a successful business. Kelley was a loving wife and devoted mother. They had 2 beautiful children, and they lived in a beautiful country home located on a secluded hilltop. In cases like this, the police's first instinct is to always suspect the spouse. However, Thomas had a rock-solid alibi. According to him, he was at a poker game until a little after midnight. He even volunteered his truck's GPS to verify his alibi. Upon interviewing the family members who later arrived at the scene, the investigators learned that there was a former employee of Thomas who had recently gotten fired for suspicion of stealing from clients, Michael Beard. More importantly, Michael was getting evicted from the apartment that he rented from Thomas, giving him plenty of motive. The police also learned that Michael had been to the house several times to do some odd jobs, making him quite familiar with the layout of the home. Kelley had even given him snacks while he worked, but the police still felt that the scene seemed more like a result of domestic violence. And this was because of Charlie's testimony. Charlie, the Clayton's 7-year-old daughter, had witnessed everything. She stated that a guy came in the middle of the night and started hitting her mom with a pipe thingy.
There was blood everywhere.
Okay.
On my door, on the floor, not on the carpet though. And I thought she was dead when she was laying on the ground. And Daddy was out playing cards. We were basically alone for like 20 minutes. Then he came home and he was like, oh my God. Because he saw my mom on the floor with blood all over.
Charlie also recalled her mother screaming at her to run while Kelley led the killer downstairs away from her children. When asked to describe the killer, she told the police that the man was wearing dark jeans, a long-sleeved shirt, and a mask. Charlie stated that the mask was similar to one that her dad wore when he went hunting. When asked to describe the man's size, she said, "The size of my dad." She also stated that the killer had the same eyes as her dad. What was even more devastating was that Charlie thought her mother was still alive and suffering, so she hugged her leg before going upstairs to check on her brother and make sure he was safe while they waited for their dad to come home. Based on this, Thomas Clayton was arrested that same day. But that didn't mean that the police stopped investigating. They found witnesses who had seen Thomas at the poker party all night. In addition, the GPS on Thomas's vehicle confirmed that he was at the poker game. But then, one of the women at the poker game, Linda Miller, told the police that Thomas had borrowed her phone around 90 minutes before Kelley's body was found. He had told her that he needed to make a call, but he left his phone in his vehicle. When Thomas returned the phone, Linda noticed that the call logs had been deleted. That's not all. Other witnesses testified that they had seen Thomas with his phone at the table. So why did he borrow someone else's phone to make a call? Phone records showed that Thomas had called Michael Beard. Why would Thomas call Michael in the middle of the night? The police dug deeper and found that Michael and Thomas had frequently exchanged calls and text messages in the week prior to the murder. The investigation continued to delve deeper into Thomas's life, and it turns out the happy family life that was seen by the public was not so idyllic after all. Thomas was engaging in multiple affairs, and some of the women claimed that he often complained about Kelley, calling her ungrateful and lazy. Phone records showed him exchanging loving text messages with Kelley while sending sexually charged messages to other women. Some of the women even testified that Thomas didn't want to divorce Kelley because she would take everything. The police also learned that Thomas was obsessed with money. He liked spending it and was a rabid gambler. More importantly, Thomas had doubled Kelley's life insurance policy just the year before. It was now worth $1 million. It seemed to the police that Thomas may have wanted to free himself from the shackles of marriage and get money at the same time, and that Kelley's death may have been the result of a murder-for-hire plot. When interviewed, Michael denied any connection with Kelley's murder, but his girlfriend begged to differ. According to her, Thomas had offered Michael $10,000 to set fire to his house. Armed with this information, the police were able to get a confession from Michael. According to him, Thomas had hired him to kill Kelley and burn down his house for insurance money in exchange for $10,000 cash. Thomas had given him keys to the house. Thomas had also lent him a truck that he had borrowed from a friend, while Thomas himself drove the company truck to the poker party. Michael picked up the truck at the company parking lot, as well as a friend, Mark Blandford, before heading to the Clayton house. Mark claimed that he just stayed in the truck to serve as a lookout, but he had no idea what would happen inside. Mark also stated that Michael was inside the house for approximately 15 minutes, and when he came back he was breathless, sweating, and carrying a maul handle. Michael also told the police where he had ditched the house keys, a bag of clothes that he had worn that night, and the murder weapon. Michael Beard was arrested and charged with first-degree murder on October 3, 2015. Thomas was officially charged with first- and second-degree murder on October 5th, but he was released hours later after posting bail. Both men plead not guilty. Michael went to trial on November 2016. At the witness stand, he recanted his confession, stating that Thomas had only wanted him to burn down the house. He claimed that Kelley was already dead when he got there, and he just panicked and left. However, there was a lot of physical evidence tying him to the crime. So he was still found guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. Because Michael recanted his confession, he could no longer be used to testify at Thomas's trial. Though the prosecution was only able to use circumstantial evidence to tie Thomas to Kelley's murder, the jury convicted him of first- and second-degree murder charges on February 2017. Like Michael, Thomas was also sentenced to life in prison without parole. Thomas and Michael have since appealed their convictions, but both were denied. As for Charlie and Cullen, they now live with their aunt, Kelley's sister Kim Bourgeois. According to Kim, the two children are doing well. But Charlie rarely talks about Kelley now, and Cullen still cries out at night looking for his mommy. The case of Kelley Clayton serves as a heartbreaking reminder of how domestic issues can escalate into violence and tragedy. It underscores the importance of community support for victims and their families, while also shining a light on the need for justice in cases involving betrayal by loved ones. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling or have thoughts on it, please leave your comments below and subscribe for more true crime stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.